Good evening, brothers and sisters of melanin. This is brother Use Allah the ruler. I'm just gonna dive right in today, like I usually do. Peace to the brothers and sisters of melanin. All right. Today I'm just gonna talk about a few different things. First I'm gonna talk about how to seek God's eyes, the godly energy, how to seek that if you want that, because you'll need it. But if you don't want to seek it, you don't have to. Just know you will only be in the way. But I'll get to that. Next, after that, I'm going to be talking about the corrupt mind state of Caucasoids or conquerors. And I'm just gonna break that down so you at least get an understanding of what's happening and how they think, so you'll know how to pick them out. I'm also gonna be talking about our timeline, people of melanin's timeline, dark people, and the timeline of the Caucasoids, other people. I'm just gonna dive in. So, how to seek godly eyes. Now, how I got it is through an energy, a magnetic energy that is still coming down to the earth. So the earth is a surface. It's coming down. And it's coming in energy that you'll just sporadically get out of nowhere. It's just like, and you'll start to see different things. Now, the only way to view in the eyes of a godly person it's through our ancestors' suffering and what they went through. It's how, like, say your past generation's bloodline just went through nothing but torture and death, and that energy is still floating around. The energy is still out there. And they're trying to walk through the bridge to our realm. So it's like your human body, and you have no clue. You're living everyday life how you want to, get to the bag, or work every day, go to church, whatever the fuck you do every day. You're just doing that, and then all of a sudden you feel a different presence around you, and you feel a different presence in you. It's like you're not yourself. Okay, so in my first video, I told you that God hates everything, and he doesn't love everybody or everything on this planet. And I'm gonna explain why and what. So first thing, I'm explaining why he hates. Now, he hates because it's not necessarily what happens, necessarily how it happened. So I could tell you the different disrespects, the different mockeries, the different categories and levels of what he hates. For example, he hates religions. Now, a religion is something that limitates your mind into a belief system based off somebody putting fear into your eyes. So, for example, Christians. Everyone knows in this generation or in this period that Christians are false. Catholics are false. People have recognized that the Jews who are in Israel right now, you know, the white, pale face, curly sideburns and the business suits and the top hats with the beards. Everybody recognizes now that those aren't even the real Jews who are supposed to be there. Even they admitted it. You have to do research to know this. It's all a business scheme to keep people of melanin and people of the Caucasoids in a limited illusion. That's what I'm going to call it. A limited illusion. Because if all that wasn't an illusion, there would be no one waking up and just randomly saying, well, religion's bullshit. We don't believe in that shit. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. You have to see something with your eyes. And then you have to really mathematically just calculate it. Just calculate what's happening. Okay, for example, they have built temples all over the country and all over the world. There's different temples, buildings, and structures that they've built to worship physical things. For example, the Christians and the Catholics, they worship the cross. Now, why? Why do you worship a cross? Because somebody got hung up on a fucking cross and they died for you. Now, let's decode this. Everyone in their own individual religions, right, have their own sort of say Messiah, right? Now, in every one of those religions, right, from Buddhists to Catholics to Christians to Muslims, you know, all that, right? They all have the same sort of idea, right? The same sort of idea in their own different perspectives. Now, if they all have the same idea in different perspectives and point of views, that means they got it from one source. So You have to go back in history. Now, these motherfucking Christians, right? They know that in school they taught us how Christianity was force fed into people's throats. And if they didn't believe in that religion, people were being slaughtered, people were being prosecuted, persecuted, people were being diseased with all kinds of plagues just because you didn't believe in that one or you rebelled against that religion. So what makes these people doomed? Now, the fact that you know this and you still continue to teach that one particular religion. So, if you know how it was brought into your ancestors' life, why would you continue to preach that? I don't really know. Now, if the Arabs work with the US government, what makes being a Muslim any different from being a Christian? Now, these people they have some sort of fucking holy Mecca where they worship some stone, and then a bunch of Arabs come out a box. Now, that box, right, it's black. So, they got it from somewhere. You know, that box or cube, right? Because in all the movies, you see the cube. You know, if you watch that fucking stupid movie Thor, you see the little cube, and then if you see in any other movie, they're always in the Middle East. Now, if you see every Transformer movie or whatever, you see that they're always going to the Middle East. Why in every movie they're always going to the Middle East? And they want you to believe in this sort of deity or entity called Allah. Now, Allah is another word for God, but it's also a limitation because they want to limit you to what is real and what's not real. They want you to keep your mind into the physicalness of godly state. Now, same thing as the Pope. Now, why does the Pope sit on his high horse, sit on his throne, sitting on a bunch of gold in knowledge and books, and he's like the fucking next thing sitting next to God? It's all bullshit and propaganda and dogma, you know. And the God eyes see the mockery. The master sees the mockery. He sees the different level of mockery that is being portrayed to the masses. So everyone who is partaking in this mockery know and don't care that they are doomed. Their whole goal is to keep you unaware of the real reality that is set. They'll put little phrases like, I love everybody no matter what race or religion you are. That is putting poison. Because if I was to say, I have my God, right? I believe in my God, in my Messiah. And no matter what race or religion you are, I love. I'm basically, I'm going to break it down. I'm basically contradicting myself because I literally broke out of my boundary of my religion. Don't care about what I believe in, and don't care what you believe in. And I just love you as a person, right? Even though both religions are a mockery, right? So that should tell you in your mind that, okay, I know the truth now that religions are a limitation. So now I can't even say my religion's better than your religion, my God is better than your God. Truthfully, the truth is there's only one God. Now, everyone knows there's only one God. And that God is energy. Black energy. Now, you have to understand why he hates everything. Because people's been closing people's eyes and minds for centuries. And all of a sudden, it doesn't matter anymore. We're all one. Now, if you think you can play with something like that, what makes you think there are no consequences to playing with something like that? Now, you see everybody in the industry, right? Everybody wants to be on top. Everybody, not even in the industry, just Caucasoids, period, in the Caucasoid mind state, period. You see everybody in the industry, right? Everybody wants to be on top, even in life. Everybody wants to be on top. Everybody is in the race to be on top, you know, to be on top of each other. Who wants to be on top? They've created the money system to keep people chasing something. Every time you get to another level, it's always endless. Endless. Now, they'll say, okay, I'm on top. Everybody who I used to be with that are down here, this is how that pyramid shit works. So everybody who are down here hate you, right? They hate you because you're on top. They hate you if you're doing bad. They hate you that you're doing good. This is the Caucasoid mind state. They hate you that you're doing bad. They hate you that you're doing good. They just hate you just because you're winning, okay? So how do you think that the master and the creator of all living organisms feels about this. Because the higher these celebrities or billionaires get, the more they're trying to keep these people down, distracted, and the more they're trying to play God. Now, God is at the top and at the bottom, right? Because we all know that the mind state of our people of melanin are completely corrupted. So we are at the bottom and at the top at the same time. And everything in between is just everything in between. So if they're saying that everyone they used to hang with hate on them because they're at the top. Now these people hate the top because they're trying to reach the top. These Caucasoids are trying to reach the top, and they'll use anything they can to get to the top and stay at the top. They're trying to play God with their science and their weather control and all that. And they're trying to keep God at the bottom because he's at the top. Because you have to see the levels of where I'm telling you this. So they tried to keep everybody on the chase to the top, while people under you are trying to grab you down. They're trying to keep you down. And the people these Caucasoids who are just sitting on their thrones and on their high horses, they know the truth. And they're trying to keep you stupid. One thing that they do is they try to keep people in a primitive mind state. Armies, guns, wars, slavery. These Caucasoids, their mind state is nothing but war. It's nothing but war. They might try to put love as a distraction. So, everybody at the bottom are like, okay, we don't care about all that. We don't care about the differences we have. We just love, just so that they can create a plot of war. Someone who has a very high Caucasoid primitive mind state would be a U.S. general or a Russian army general or a Chinese Russian general or anybody who seeks control, who seeks power. They don't even care about money. They already created that to keep motherfuckers in an endless loop of survival. These motherfuckers are sitting there on their high horses, scared. Now, not everybody wants to wake up to this knowledge. People just want to stay on the surface. Stay on the surface of knowledge that they know. So, if I'm an army general, right, I spent my whole life in the war. So my whole mind state is war, 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 war. I fight for people's freedom. You're not fighting for freedom. Let people know what they're really fighting for. Because it's not freedom. I will never ever say another motherfucker who blew his own fucking leg off or arm off fought for my freedom. Because for one, if you really get technical, a country like America lost every single war that they've been in. So you have people fighting for what reason? Your greed. Not be for freedom. Because my people still aren't free from their mind. Regardless. So, back in our ancestral timeline, we didn't have war. Yes, there were times where someone would have to protect somebody else, but there was never all out war. Caucasoids brought war in. They brought the war. They brought the guns. They brought the primitive behavior. Now, I find it easy to be a primitive jarhead. That's easy. It's easy to fight somebody in combat, and it's easy to pull a trigger. That shit is easy. Now, to have a high conscious mind and breaking it all down is actually the hardest thing ever, because when you're trying to, or not even trying, when you're constantly breaking down life, it is like, it's like crawling again. It's like being, that phrase when they tell you being born again. You literally have to be birthed again, because literally in your old life was literally an illusion. So then you have to go through the cleanse and rethink your whole thought pattern, because that's what it's a reboot, a reprogram, because we are organic machines. So you literally have to take the old program, throw that out, burn it, do whatever, and reboot with a different mind state. That's what the rebirth is. Now, they might falsify it and say, put it in the Bible and just tell you some old other fairy tale bullshit, but it's not really that. The cleanse is literally a rebirth. It's not dunking a motherfucker in a lake or in the water or in a bathtub and he's all of a sudden he or she's rebirthed into this new being way religious bullshit. No, they try to keep you limited into the physical aspect. And they try to falsify it for spiritualness. The mind of the Caucasoid is a tricky one, and it's a very clever one, but it's not the actual supreme knowing. It's a counterfeit. Everything is a counterfeit. You can't make something, spread it out to different people if you didn't get it from one source. So these whole different religions and belief systems, are all counterfeits from the source of things. They got it from somewhere. You have to get something from one source. You can't just come up here and just make some shit up. Nothing under the sun was just made up. It's all reenactment, or it's all a mockery. Most of my people of melanin don't realize that, or haven't woken up to that, because they're still on the surface thinking. They still believe that money is everything. They still believe that you know, God is Jesus and Buddha and some fat old Chinese motherfucker. It's all a counterfeit. It's all what they want that one source to be in their belief. It's like, okay, some people might believe this pen is just a pen. Now, I might be like, okay, yes, it's a pen, but in my belief system, this pen does magic. This pen does magic. It's a magic pen. Every time I write something down, it's magic. Somebody else might be like, in their other religion, well, this pen is a sword. Somebody else in their other religion might, well, just be like, might be a complete idiot and just might be like, well, I don't like pens. I just use pens to pick my fucking nose. You know, it's all, but at the same time, a pen can be used different ways. But at the end of the day, it's still a pen. It's a pen. You know? This compact dictionary. There's this compact Bible dictionary. Hold on. Okay. Now, everyone believes in the Bible, right? Now, there's different versions, right? There's different versions, different descriptions, different theories, or different, you know, different ways to explain everything. You know, you might have a Quran, you might have a Torah. At the end of the day, they all say the same thing, just in different ways. But they all came from one source. They all say the same thing and come from one source. It's just rewritten, broken down, rewritten again, destroyed, shit was taken out. They literally destroyed the instructions. They destroyed the basic instructions before leaving the earth plane. They tried so hard to make you believe in different things that are actually myths. They want you to believe in some white guy who just got nailed to a fucking cross. They want you to believe in everything physical so that they can hide you from the true essence of the God energy. Now, these Caucasoids, I'm going to move on. These Caucasoids have created a timeline and have everybody living based on a timeline that is theirs. Okay? It starts by seconds, days, weeks, months. Oh, make sure you get your calendar and make sure you keep track of your schedules and what you need to do, because you're so busy and your time is so corrupted and it's so stressed. They create stress. That's their timelines, to create stress. For example, I have a meeting this week on Monday. On Tuesday I have the meeting at my kid's school and all, and a bunch of nonsense. They created a timeline because that is their timeline. Now, the melanated timeline is a circle. It's a circle. It's endless circle. Like how they tell you in the Bible, we are the beginning and we are the end. But we're a circle because it's a full circle. That's why they are in power now. They know fact that their time is a line that start, finish. That's why they create holidays, pagan holidays. Every year, people have to worship Christmas and Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day, and they have a bunch of women worshiping holidays, which is a setup and a distraction for what's really going on, and it's a setup and distraction to keep you in stress. Why do you think on Valentine's Day or Black Friday everything is so stressful and you have to spend money, right, on people you love? And then when you do that and it's all said and done, those people that you love probably take advantage of you. They probably don't appreciate it, and then people have this whole mind state, the Caucasoid mind state of trust issues and selfishness. It's all plays a role in what God really hates. And he hates everything that's become this physical realm, because everything is of control. Mother Nature already knows what's to be controlled, or not even say controlled, but what's to be in order and what's just supposed to happen. Now, if they're trying to keep God at the bottom and he's at the top at the same time, and everybody's trying to chase to the top, why do they keep your mind imprisoned? And I'm not talking about everybody, because Mother Nature is discriminative. Mother Nature discriminates. It's the hurtful truth. Why do they keep you at the bottom when you're at the top, or supposed to be at the top? They're not going to tell you this. These religions, these nations, these borders, these walls are to keep you in a limited distraction. Now what you should do is stay focused, stay in meditation, and stay in absolute truth. Anything else is a distraction from what's really going on. I can sense anybody with a primitive mind state. I can sense anybody with a Caucasoid mind. And you know how? I can just say the absolute truth. And what you will do is say that's just your form of opinion. Now, in absolute facts, in absolute mathematics, in absolute supreme knowing, there is no opinions. What I say is what's happening. What you say is how you feel. You will get mad. You will be all emotions. You will say, well, that's what you believe in. It's not belief, it's fact. Now, for example, nobody would ever believe that Donald Trump would hit office until it happened in front of your eyes. Now, if someone has to put it in front of your eyes for you to finally come to realization of truth, then you will only doom yourself. If I say, this gun has bullets, and if I squeeze this trigger, just thinking out of a Caucasoid mind state. Let me start all over. If I load this clip, cock back this gun, squeeze the trigger, and I say you'll die, and you get mad and tell me that no, I won't, no, you won't die, that's just my belief. So if I actually do it, what's gonna happen? You're gonna fuck around and die. You're gonna fuck around and die. Where's your belief system then? So you have to understand reality. Reality is not what you make it. Reality is nature. Reality is the natural state of being. They say you was given free will. Did they tell you that free will comes with a price? Did they tell you that? Unconsciously mocking the master, the God energy, came with a price. So now you have to understand what you're doing to yourself. This is the ruler, use Allah. Peace to the brother and sisters of melanin. Shalom to the Israelites.